How's it going, guys? Malik Robinson here with another video. And in this video, I have a powerful principle for you. The principle that I have for you is your life moves in the direction of your focus. It is very important for you to mind what you focus on and to guard your focus. Because what you magnify becomes your reality. If you focus more on problems more than your purpose, you'll have more problems. If you focus more on storms than walking by faith instead of by sight, then you'll get pulled right into those storms. Let me give you an example. Peter got out of the boat, and as long as Peter kept his eyes on Jesus, he was walking through the storm and walking on the water. But the Bible says the moment that he looked at the wind, he got afraid and began to sink. When the winds came, Peter lost his focus. And it's easy to say, man, he should have just kept looking at Jesus. He would have never began to start sinking. That's easy to say until you're the one walking through a storm. Let me give y'all an example, y'all. At one point in my life, I was walking on the water. I was 1 year away from finishing college and setting a new standard in my family's life forever. I was excited. It seemed like nothing can go wrong. Academically, I was doing amazing. Spiritually, I was being discipled. Everything looked like it started to take shape in my life. Again, 1 year away from changing the standard in my family's life forever. But guess what, y'all? The winds came in my life as well. A year away, my little brother passed away. One of the main reasons I was doing everything that I was doing, to set a new standard, to be of influence for change and something different. So if you're going to judge Peter, you got to judge me too. Because that wind that came in my life, that storm, made me lose focus too. And the approach that I had to life that I had before, I didn't have the same. That storm slowed me up and I was sinking. And I began to sink. I turned away from my faith. I turned away from the things that had even got me in position to be where I was at, to fight for a new legacy, to fight for something new in my family. Y'all, I lost focus. They say you fall into sin. You don't fall into it. You go into it compromise by compromise. I picked up bad habits one by one. I started smoking. I started drinking. Y'all, my belief system that I had before taught me that bad company corrupts good character. I went from being around nothing but good company and people who were able to help me with my gift to people who would only cause me to be corrupt and to walk away from my purpose, because I was focused on my pain. I was focused on my hurt. I was focused on what I was going through at the time. Because when you're in the streets nowadays and someone die, they don't just let you rest in peace. They do the most diabolical things to disrespect you that anybody could think of. And I had to endure all of those things. In that moment, I had to endure all of those things. And I didn't put one foot in front of the other the same. I made it, I finished, but I barely made it. And then after me barely making it, then came the accident that almost claimed my life. It got worse from there. I lost friends. I lost 2 sisters that passed away less than a month apart. I lost mentors. Y'all, I didn't have the best support system while I was recovering and going through things that I was going through. Y'all, I just started to sink deeper and deeper and deeper. And it seemed like there was no way of rescue. I lost my little cousin who was murdered and left by train tracks. I went through so much and I didn't see how I could make it from all of those hardships. I didn't see how it was possible. But then one day I got off of those crutches and threw them. And I had to come to the realization that the world and nobody cares about your hardships the way that you do. More importantly, I realized, Malik Robinson, you are not a victim. You are a victor. And if you can look up, you can get up. These hardships that come into your life has not defined you. Use these hardships to refine you. So no more walking around with that victim mentality. You have to chase your dream, and you cannot allow those things to hold you back. Martin Luther King said, you don't judge a person's character by where they stand in times of comfort and convenience. You judge their character by where they stand in times of controversy and challenges. And I've learned that if you focus on the storm, your faith will sink. But if you focus on faith, your character will stand through the storm, through the adversity, and through the challenges. I had went through all of those storms, and I had yet to be broken. And all of those storms had prepared me for one of the biggest storms I was yet to face in my life. This year, January 19th, the plug was pulled and my father passed away. It was one of the biggest storms in my life because it was so much that I was expecting. I was waiting to finally have a relationship with my dad. He had been in prison since 3 years old, and he was granted early release last year on my birthday. And there, we had some growing pains to get through. There was a lot for us to understand and get to know about each other outside of the prison cell phones. And there was a lot that we look forward to. But unfortunately, none of those things are coming. And I made up my mind when I lost him in the midst of that storm, in the midst of the most adversity I had ever faced in my life, that I would not be a victim. And I changed what I focused on in this storm. I sought the Lord, and he heard me, and he answered me. And I had made up in my mind that the adversity that life sent to break me, I will wear it as a badge of honor every single day and show people that even through the toughest of situations, if you make up in your mind that you are not a victim and that you will turn those sour lemons into lemonade, I vow that nothing can stop you. Change your focus. And remember, if you're sinking, stop trying to do it alone. He already has the blueprint. Let him save you. It's Malik Robinson. A wise man once told me, if what you know doesn't change you, it does you no good to know it. You know, let's go.